Because by the time I'm trying to look for the stream, but it takes too long, and then it's just like, oh, it's not strong enough. Which is fucking bullshit.
Oopsie. Next time, stop biting.
Shut up. Shut up. Really, just trying to find the stream before it fucking turns off.
Oh. I will find the stream.
Okay, there's that. I think I found it.
I am watching the stream. I will say hello, what's up?
You can't say anything bad.
Hello. And welcome to...
Shut up.
Hello.
So I will read page 64 and 65. A little bit of like... One, because it's slow, and two, it's just like my brain capacity not really all there. So it's easier to just... I don't want to skip these pages, but I'll just read them so it's a bit quicker. Some of the kids who made fun of her stared at her, and Jessica hesitated. They likely hadn't expected Zombie Girl to go to prom, let alone have a date. They were probably waiting for her to do something crazy, like attack them with vampire fangs or something. No, she wouldn't break out in fangs, but she might just fall on her face. Between getting little sleep, doing all the work for the presentation, and the excitement of getting ready for prom, Jessica was exhausted. She'd gotten ready at the mausoleum instead of the hospital like she'd planned. Afraid to run into Nurse Macy again and have to answer questions about where she lived. Jessica had no idea what she would tell the woman. She never really had to lie about her life because usually people stayed away from her. In the candlelight with a small hand mirror, she had to put extra layers of makeup. Could you mute yourself? This echo is fucking killing me. Is it? There we go. In the candlelight with a small hand mirror, she... you motherfucker.
I turned my volume down so you should be acting.
She had to put extra layers of makeup on her face to cover her shallow skin and the dark circles under her eyes. She put on some tinted eyeshadow and she left her long hair down. Her nerves were practically shot, but she was determined to enjoy every minute of this prom experience. Deep within, she felt that this could be her last chance to experience something special. "You look really pretty, Jess," Robert told her. She glanced at him and smiled as they walked farther into the room. "Thank you. You look really nice, too." He wore a nicely fitted black tux with a light purple vest and white rose bonneteur. I think that's how you pronounce it, or I fucked it up and it's French. Was pinned to his suit jacket. Shut up. "Want to dance first or get something to drink?" Robert asked. Jessica looked around, wondering what to do first. She wanted to soak up every part of the experience. "Let's dance first." "Alright," Robert led her hand to the dance floor. She squished in between a couple as a slow beat began to play. Shut up! Where was I? Fuck, I lost it, asshole. Yeah, I see that. Beat began to play through the speakers. Robert put his hand around her waist, and she put her hands on his strong shoulders. He smelled of a faint cologne that he must have worn just for the dance. She realized things changed for her the moment she met Robert. Over the last few years... I thought it said a stroke. Over the last few weeks, he'd slowly gotten close to her and helped her open up to him and to some of the experiences she never thought she would have again, such as making friends, being more present in her life, even something as simple as indulging in her favorite dessert. She thought the only way to fulfill her purpose was to keep her distance from others. She thought she deserved to be alone for her past mistakes, but no matter how she tried to stay away from others, it hadn't worked. She'd gotten to know Nurse Macy, Robert, and now she was even making new friends like Tina. And here she was actually at prom. She couldn't believe this was happening. Something good, something special for her. Maybe even though she had made mistakes in the past, she could forgive and be deserving for more in life. Maybe Father Jeremiah was right about being open to receiving happiness and even love. Wanna know my headcanon? My headcanon is that Robert is like it's probably a different name, but I like to believe that Robert is actually the same kid from the story The New Kid.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the ending where he suddenly just... well, if you read this... I'm not going to spoil it, but if you read the story, you get what I'm saying, right? Like, because it makes sense, like, after a while in a new place, he might just change names. Because everyone seems really, like, in that story, everyone seemed very interested, and he just seems like an easy person to talk to, you know? And I don't, you know, he did nothing wrong. It wasn't his fault that, you know, he could talk to everyone easily, and the main character was a bitty bitch that was jealous. Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? It was going well until it wasn't.
Okay, what happened?
So they were dancing, right? And he whispers in her ear that he really likes her, and like that he really likes her, and he thought it'd be the same as his other school, but you know, she's different, you know. And she explains that she feels the same way, and that she thanks him for helping her out of her shell. And you know, he's like, I'm glad that I could help, you know, and I'm glad you came to prom with me. And she's like, oh, me too. And they're all happy. And then he goes in for he goes in for a kiss, right? And as he like moves his head back, she's like, ugh, yeah. And it's like this.
What happened?
It says this grease was old, slick, and dirty, right? And as you know, he tries to, you know, she tries to wipe the grease away, but he kind of like backs up and like, oh, filthy, disgusting.
What the fuck?
And so like everyone's like looking at her. It's like, oh no, this is what my fears told me about. Everyone's like looking, and please refrain from spamming this as your one warning.
This is your one warning.
Don't mock me.
Top hat cat. Whale, 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 whale. What are they on about?
Message retracted.
Hey, this I gotta see.
Quiet. Oh, that's just sad. So she's like having a, I wouldn't say a panic attack, but basically everything's blending together, like the students, the music, the walls, everything, and she just, you know, basically runs out crying. Then it's the other students talking, not students, sorry, the other, basically Colin and Marcy, like talking about how April's health isn't getting better, right? And she's the only one that's not getting better, and that's because Jessica has this like wooden locket that she starts like carving a bit, like not carving, but like scraping bits and pieces off, sacrificing her own health for other people in the hospital, right? And because there's like a sliverous left, she's like, it's okay for me to, you know, like have some self-enjoyment and like go to prom. And like as they're talking, right, like the doors slam open, and you know, as the doors slam open, like all this like liquid is pouring out of her nose, mouth, eyes, forehead, down her neck, ruining and staining the dress. And as she's running, like, you know, Nurse Macy or whatever tries to like talk to her, like, you know, is everything alright? But she just runs past her with like a bunch of gears, you know, leaving a trail of like rusted gears and shit. And she basically locks April's door, and they're like, you know, like, we gotta call security, but like the door's budged. And she's like, you know, like, you gotta talk to me, you know, talk to me. Yeah, and she's really worried, and she just sees her like pull out this little, she just like sees her pull out this like the little pendant, right? And should I read the last 2 pages or just summarize it?
Might as well.
It says, then she somehow had a knife. You know, Jessica, she screamed. Jessica began to whittle away at the charm above April's bed. Hurry, get this door open. Nurse Macy called out to Colin and to security guard that run over to help. I am, but she blocked the door with something, the security guard said. Nurse Macy pounded on the glass. Jessica, please, open the door. I need to see April. Whatever happened, it's going to be okay. I can help you. What's going on? Nurse Macy turned to see Father Jeremiah. It's Jessica. She locked herself in April's room. We can't get in. Maybe I can help. Just then, the security guard and Colin were able to push the door open, sliding whatever was blocking the door. Thank goodness. Nurse Macy rushed in. She spotted April still sleeping in the bed. But where was Jessica? Oh, gross, Colin said, pointed to the floor. How did all that get in here? There on the floor, bedside April's bed, was a pile of metal pieces, steel bars. No, I'm not. You blind bitch! There on the floor, besides April's bed, was a pile of metal pieces, steel bars, gears, bolts, and junkyard garbage. Smelly grease dripped from the pile as if it were blood. What is going on here? Nurse Macy whispered. Could she have gone out the window? Colin asked. He looked out the window but found it locked. The security guard checked the restroom. Nurse Macy shook her head, bewildered as she turned towards the door. Father Jeremiah, Jessica's gone. Just vanished. I don't understand. She was just here. Father Jeremiah stepped into the room. He looked down at the pile of metal with a quiet sadness, as if he understood something no one else could. Then he made a sign of a cross and began to pray. In that moment, Nurse Marcy heard April's heart monitor level out in a strong, healthy rhythm. Literally predicted it. Next door is Lully's game.
Fazbear
honestly, I still think in some, like, I still think my theory still stands. I'm not saying it's true, but it's very plausible. Knock on her. So I should be done with that story. I still want to talk about it with Henry. Henry! Not Henry, shit. Knock on her! I have a theory as to who Jessica is. So, as I said in the previous story, this may be a spoiler for To Be Beautiful. But like, you know the ending of To Be Beautiful, right? So my theory is that Jessica is actually like Eleanor in Sarah's disguise. And I feel like, while trying to be Sarah, her memory as Eleanor is being overwritten by memories of Sarah for some reason.
Yeah.
So, like, it gives a lot of understanding why, you get what I mean? There's a lot of understanding,
yeah,
as to why there's, like, gears falling around and, like, grease and shit.
Yeah.
Also understanding why she really didn't want to, like, go to the the garbage place, like the junkyard, because, you know, in that story, that, and because if she believes she's Sarah, she still probably thinks that she understands she's a pile of gears, but she probably believes she survives the process, unlike the real Sarah, you know? And that's why she says she can't go back to a normal life, because she's aware, or at least she thinks that she knows she's just a pile of gears. And I'm pretty sure, like, again, with the wooden locket that she carves off is almost similar to the locket Eleanor gave her. You see what I'm going with this?
Yes.
I think that's I think that's a theory I enjoy, because it makes sense, but it's not confirmed. It's just something for fun. And it makes sense why she doesn't have a home, because she left her, Eleanor in Sarah's disguise, left her home. But at first she might have left because she had the memories of Eleanor, but then it slowly started corrupting and having memories of Sarah, and she doesn't know, like, where she is. So she kind of goes, you know, place to place, and that's why she's living in a graveyard. Because I don't think she, like, it may be a stretch, but maybe she believes that she doesn't deserve to be alive and is only alive to help others. Because she used to, like, in her old life, she used to want to go on date with boys, talk about drama, which is something she wanted in To Be Beautiful. But you get what I mean? But I think that's an interesting theory.